holiday songa kibadde tekyetaagisa ne ssente ezo zennyini ze bagenda okutegekeramu busimanyi tutegeka lunaku lw'abakozi zensubira zaali badde zisevingibwa ne zikolamu ebintu ebirala ebyamakulu ate n'abalala naddala mu abatalina mirimu. Omuntu bw'oba tolina mulimu tetukusuubira kwatangalabi y'okugenda eyo ku celebratinga le birthday. N'abalina emirimu nga muyisibwa bubi ku mirimu gyammwe tokwatangalabi y'okugenda mu tuselebratinga le birthday. Mwali badde olwo olunaku lukozesebwa okwongera okudimandinga rights zammwe naddala ng'abantu kati abayisibwa obubi mu kukola. For example, kati tugende ne tulaba abasawo ennaku zino tebakyafiirwako bayisibwa mu mbeera mbi. Lyazadde nalabye omu ku bakozi b'eggwanga owa poliisi nga yeebase ku katanda nga wansi mukoka ayita mu nnyumba ye naye nga mukozi wa gavumenti. Ebintu ebyo byali badde okuba nga biri adresi. Nze nsuubira nga ffe nga palamenti minisita omu bw'ati yali badde avaayo gwe balonda owa Leba mu ofiisi ye we yali badde akuliza olunaku olwo minisita wa Leba mu ofiisi ye oba se ekyo pulezidenti n'ayita baminisitaazi be aba Leba mu State House ne bali ekijjula abantu nga bataano ne boogera ku be boogera buli omu n'addeeka. Naye kakati ogenda kulaba abantu bakwata amapajero n'engalabi zaabwe mbu tugenda kujaganya lebadde nga bonna bwe bavuga bwe bafuna alawensi buli omu gyagenda eyo nga ne gye bagenda bennyini tebategeera lebadde what it means ki kyali badde kiba celebrated for. N'olwekyo nze nsuubira nti bannansi baali badde basigale ku mirimu gyabwe. Nze ndi mubaka wa palamenti naye bwe nsanga wano omubaka wa palamenti acelebratinga lebadde naye mba mwewuunya kubanga abantu beturepresentinga wano tebannaba kulaba mugaso gwa lebadde ne leba union zaafa zonna zirimu bannabyabufuzi beerere kubanga olunaku nga luno lwali badde luba spearheaded by leba unions ng'abantu bavaayo boogera ku mbeera abakozi ze bayitamu ne boogera ku challenges balaba impact yaabwe nga babadde bakola ne balaba gavumenti eneebayambako etya ne balaba bayimiriza batya kino ekizodasi y'abannayuganda abaddukira mu nsi z'Abarabu kuba wano tewakyaliwo mirimu kati kakati ebyo bye baali badde discuss. Naye kati ogenda kulaba nga boogera ku byatwalwana kimanyi n'ateera embunda byojja okulaba eyo nga biri kulebadde so nga bye baali badde ebyo tebiwulirwako wali badde tuwulira ku byabakozi. Kati nze ndi musajja mulimi abalimi bonna nabo babalibwa ku bakozi. Ewaffe bbeeyi y'ebirime yagwa. Omuntu akeera ku makya n'ateeka ssente alime kasooli naye bw'atuuka okukungula ate ebbeeyi ya kasooli n'egwa nnyo. Omulunzi bwe babeerawo ente zaabwe nga basuubira nti balina kye bagenda okufunamu ogenda okulya nti waliwo omukungu wa gavumenti naye alina ente ze ennyingi ayagala zitunda kati yataddewo kalantiini ne bakulyetingawo endwadde ezitali okwegala ne tubeera mu vicious cycle of poverty, vicious cycle of unemployment, vicious cycle of tears naddala abantu abakola. Naye nga njagala kwebaza ebimu ebituukiddwako. For example, waliwo ebibiina ebimu ebisuubira nti abakozi ba mugaso, waliwo kampani ezimu ezisuubira nti abakozi ba mugaso era nga naye akimanyi nti without that employee company tesobola kusurvivinga. Naye nga omukozesa akimanyi nti omukozi oyo bw'aba taliiwo tebasurvivinga. So abo twagala kubasalutinga ng'era tubagamba they should keep it up okulaba nti n'abakozi nabo bali treated ng'abannansi. Yes, I hear some people are going to celebrate Labour's Day tomorrow. It is uncalled for, it is very unnecessary because so many Ugandans are suffering. There are so many unemployed Ugandans. This money should have been saved and put into a pool and it could help us to do some of the services which are offered by government. For example, I understand they will spend more than 5 billion or close to 5 billion. Can't we save that money and construct for us one of the roads in the city? Can we save that money and we use it to do other activities which are supposed to be done by government instead of wasting it? Because there is no way you can go and celebrate that day when majority of Ugandans labor service are suffering. There are so many unemployed, even those who are employed by either government or private are suffering. None of them is talking about the sufferings they are going through. So I would think that that money can be saved and we use it to do other things other than to go and celebrate what is not there. You celebrate Labor Day for what? It's just there ceremonially. I don't think that even a sane Ugandan can wake up one day and think of celebrating a Labour Day, especially the conditions under which many employees of Ugandans undergo. So, and it is this time where Labour unions should have used to advocate for the rights of many employees who are not catered for, especially by government. Those who are employed in the private sector, it is high time even the private sector think about its employees, that working for a company is a noble call. If you are not present, they can fill some bit of the gaps. And if you are there and working for them, there is no way they shouldn't provide you with what you're supposed to get as their employee. So it is high time labor organization should be revitalized. It is high time labor organization should be rejuvenated such that they can take care of the interests of the laborers in different categories. So some of my colleagues who will just go to celebrate the non-existent policies all day, because this is just a ceremonial day, there's no way you can go in the field and convince your people that I'm going to celebrate Labour Day when the majority of Ugandans don't have any labor, and even those who are in employment service are suffering. So as members of parliament, I would think that some of these colleagues would have utilized that time and advocate for the rights, especially the laborers who are suffering in different organs of the country. And they should have utilized this time maybe to think about the future of many Ugandans who are not employed. Shouldn't only be those who are employed by government, but even those who are employed in private sector. For example, farmers. There are many farmers who invest in agriculture, but at the end of the day, they look for the markets of their produces. They can hardly find any. And yet there are some people in government who can find markets for the produces of farmers. The animal keepers, they don't also have markets. They are these called hawkers. I've seen most of them being incarcerated in different prisons of the country. They are not, being a hawker is not a crime. It's just another way government should find and organize such kind of people who want to work, but they don't have spaces where they can work from. So the Parliament and other government agencies should have utilized that day to advocate for the rights of many employed and unemployed Ugandans for better Uganda. As a shadow minister for lands, I think this should have been the right time for many government officials, especially those who are in line of protecting citizens of this country, to think about the living conditions of many Ugandans. There are so many Ugandans who are being evicted from their lands by land grabbers, by the so-called high-profile officials in government, by those who are highly connected in government. So this should have been the right time to start thinking about Ugandans, that every Ugandan has a right to own a chibanja. Every Ugandan has a right to own the land. Regardless of which political party you fall to, regardless of where you come from, it is your right to own land. And it's your right for government to fight for you. But I've seen most of government agencies which are supposed to protect these Ugandans are just given up. Why? Because the people are supposed to take a leading role, especially those who in land-related matters have kept it at bay. It's none of their business. And even some people try to go to courts of law to seek redress. They just get out just empty-handed because they are very poor. So it's high time maybe government and those who are close to government to start thinking about the future of many Ugandans who have become landless because of land grabbers. Instead of wasting time, you hear billions of money being wasted in organizing the Labour Day. It should have been probably right to organize a small party. Like, for example, a president can invite like 2 ministers of Labour, although 3 or 4 or 5, even 10 can be enough. They go to State House and start discussing about matters related to Labour. Instead of wasting billions of money, you drive choppers. You fly choppers. You drive vehicles. You go to different areas of the country and celebrate in the celebration of the day, which to many Ugandans wouldn't have been celebrated. So I think the president can organize a small party for the ministers. He should invite them. They talk about the conditions under which many employees of this country, government or non-government, are going through, and that can be the end of the day. I think even in such a small party, they cannot waste more than 50 millions. You just bring some food, tea, you discuss, and you go home, other than waiting for many people to go and converge in many areas of the country. Because I hear some are going to celebrate this day in their localities. Some districts, some what, regardless of the national event. So that can stop government wastage of funds.